business. You know, like I went I went somewhere and this big professor from Harvard University comes and, "Oh, you are that amazing tree planter?" I said, "No, I'm not a tree planter." He said, "No, you planted so many million trees." Yes, I did, but I'm not a tree planter. My work is to make people blossom, not to plant trees. The administration should have planted the trees. They didn't plant, so when I have time, I'm planting. So, planting a tree, building a school, building a hospital is actually not my business. It should not be if the nation is functional. These are things the administration should do if it is that kind of medicine, if there is that kind of a Medicare system. Otherwise, businesses should do. Now, first thing if you say business in health is, you will say they will exploit, they will charge. Do you know how much this hospital is charging, that hospital is charging? It's all true. But now, if 10 hospitals like that came, market, demand and supply would bring it down to reasonable levels. Right now, there's only one good one, so they're charging astronomical prices. If 10 like this came up, you would choose where to go, where it's sensible to go, isn't it? And proper laws to see that they don't misuse and exploit this capability. So business is not a bad word. Social organizations can fill in the gap for some time. They can never be a total solution. I'm saying Isha Foundation is not a solution for all the problems of this nation. If 1,000 organizations like this come up, we function very efficiently with absolute dedication, but still I'm saying this is not a solution. This is only a patchwork, this is only a band-aid for a cancer. The problem is so huge. We do little things and people think you're doing great things. I just tell them, what is a great thing? The problem is so big and you do little thing and it's a great thing. Why? Because nothing has been done. Because nothing has been done, the little thing is a great thing, isn't it? However dedicated we are, however capable we are, social organizations are not the ultimate solution for nation's problems. Once we have taken to market economy, we should allow the market and the forces of the market to function, and the market should be guided by appropriate laws so that it doesn't lead to too much exploitation. That is the only way, because we have chosen market economy. We cannot go back to socialistic ways of functioning on one level, market economy on the other level. It'll lead to confusion. Right now, that is what is happening in Indian minds. They're confused. They don't know whether to make profit or to make charity. I'm saying, let the business be structured in such a way, if I do business, naturally everybody must benefit. This is the rule of law. This is the role of law, that law should be structured in such a way, the laws of business should be structured in such a way, if I do business, everybody around should be benefited, not because of my charity, because of the law.
That's wonderful, Sadhguru. That market principles must be applied and competition and choice must be the cornerstones, even in socially productive work of this kind.
I don't trust people's morality. I don't trust people's ethics. I've seen enough of it and I know in how many ways it can be subverted. That's why I'm saying the law must be clear and law must be enforced.
And that's a powerful message, Sadhguru. One last question before we leave it to the floor, Sadhguru. We are all proud of our own culture, tradition, our history, our philosophy. Each country is proud of its own past, and we probably have greater claim to some exceptional accomplishments as a society and civilization. But there are two problems that are recurring in the modern context. The first is, even in the minds of people of our background sitting here, otherwise enlightened and liberal, there is this moral neutrality to inequality by birth. While we treat people who don't have an opportunity because of circumstances, because of poverty, with a lot of kindness, with a lot of compassion, we do not realize that those children are entitled to the same opportunity that my child is entitled to. It's simply alien, it appears to me, to our culture, unless a very strong message goes consistently. Unless everybody is allowed to rise, everybody will fall eventually. The second deficit appears to be, more or less as a corollary of this, a trust deficit, an incapacity to recognize that there is a common fate binding all of us. Politicians blaming bureaucrats, bureaucrats blaming judges, judges and politicians and bureaucrats together blaming media, all of them blaming somebody else. This is a blame throwing and treating the other fellow as a nuisance and not being able to look at the bigger whole and our own role in making the bigger things happen seems to be a very special Indian problem. What do you advocate, Sadhguru, to address these two challenges?
See, we need to understand India. The problem is, we are trying to look at India through a Western education window. Right now, all the educated Indians, somewhere there is one window of Western education, the rest of it is total chaos. And we like chaos. We are a colorful mess. As long as you're not trying to work with somebody, Indians are fine. Because everybody is a genius by himself. But you can't organize a genius and get results. By themselves, they're good. You try to put them together, there's a big problem. So what India is why it is like this is, I already mentioned this in passing. One thing is, India does not have beliefs and India has never had moral code. See, every other nation has strict moral code. People feel guilty about certain things. An Indian can just do just about anything very happily. Do you understand? I've had the misfortune of sometimes closely interacting with some very famously corrupt people right now in the country. When I really looked at them closely, what I saw was, they did not even think they're doing something wrong. So your ideas of morality, ethics, they're shocked that you're saying, you're complaining, after all, I become a minister, shouldn't I make some money? What are you talking? I'm saying they're not even… they're surprised that you people are complaining because India has never had a moral code, but still people remained in a certain way because there was a spiritual ethos. People told you, everything is your karma, whatever you do, there will be a consequence. And people stirred up certain other dimensions within you. Every generation had people who would stir up this possibility of consciousness within you. We operated out of continuous stirring up of consciousness, never morality. Now we have come to a place where in the last few hundred years or few generations, nobody has come, I won't say nobody, not enough people have come to stir up consciousness. And consciousness has gone low, no morality, we are between the two cultures, we are falling in the gap. We have lost our way of keeping ourselves in check, but we still cannot take on Western way of strict morality. And we are falling in the gap in between, that's where we are. I'm with with utmost respect to who you are and what you have done till now, I very much appreciate, but I want to tell you this. One of your… I forget this lady's name, I met her in Houston, she said she's dropping what she's doing and coming here and joining politics. I said, is that so? Where are you going? She said, I'm joining Lok Satta. I said, what is this Lok Satta? She told me about you and that's how I came to know for the first time, just about a month and a half ago. And she's here So I was telling her, see, this is wonderful. You are going back to India, wanting to be in politics because you want to change the nation. Fantastic, I appreciate the intention, I bow down to the intention. But I want you to understand this, that right now, we must see not just today's problems, what problems we will create tomorrow by what we are doing. See, right now, it's seriously happening, like you said yesterday's election results and everywhere else, whether it's Bengal or UP or Tamil Nadu or wherever else. Gradually in India, there is no party which you can call as national party, all regional parties. As regional parties becoming more and more powerful and they sweep the state and national parties are completely routed, I'm not trying to pitch for them because there is nothing to defend them, okay? But whichever way, whatever they may be, for the long-term interest of the nation, it's very important two or three national parties must become strong. Otherwise, after 25 to 50 years, we will wonder, why are we one nation? Suddenly one chief minister will become prime minister. A chief minister who is chief minister for 10 years and frustrated with his chief ministership wants to become a prime minister. When he sees there is no other way to become a prime minister there, he will become a prime minister here. Yes. And already some serious attempts in this direction have been made in the past in certain states. If we value India as a nation, it's very important that we must strengthen the national parties. How to join these parties? Both are a mess. That is a real problem, what to do. But what we need to understand is, there is people, there are parties, and there is administration. In Indian mind, these three things are distinctly separate. This distinction should go. There is no people, party and administration. There is people, people and people. This is what a democracy means. People who are sitting here in this chair, tomorrow could be walking the street campaigning for a party, day after tomorrow they could be in that chair. This is what democracy means, that you are here today, tomorrow you could be there. So this distinction has to go. These are all easier said than done.